I had a bookmark in my brain about the HMS Brilliant.
Okay.
That accidentally shot those whales, and I just remembered what it's relevant to. Don't know whether to address it at the top of the key.
All right.
World War III.
Oh, okay. That bollocks.
Yeah, before we get into how we are, I just find the whole situation really funny because everyone's like, "Oh, World War III." It's like, America just bombed someone. That doesn't mean that anyone else has to do anything. It's a war between the US and Iran and their allies.
Yeah, and
they're the aggressor.
Every other country's just been like, "Now, just
calm down.
Can you just calm down?"
Just calm down.
And they have.
Yeah. But just beyond that, it's like, what makes you think it's going to be a world war?
Yeah.
America bombed somebody. That doesn't mean that all of America's allies.
Like I'm the world.
I am the world.
Yeah.
No. Just because one country bombed somebody doesn't mean that all their allies back them.
Yeah.
They can still commit genocide and be wrong. It's not like a thing. It's just like oh my god, the UK is going to enlist, and we have to. It's like, not necessarily.
No.
If a regime bombs innocent civilians and soldiers who aren't, attacking them, that doesn't mean they're the good guys. Doesn't necessarily mean they're the bad guys either. But it doesn't mean that now everyone gets together. America took 4 years to get involved in, I think, both world wars.
Probably.
So
were they involved in the first one?
I think so.
History.
Yeah, I think so. But again, it wasn't hey, we'll help from the beginning. It's, hey, we'll wait until the end of the film and then come in with the cavalry.
Yeah. And,
so it's not even like, there's another thing of like, that's not quite how world wars start, but fair enough. It's a whole weird thing. But anyway, the little I know, America missiled a general. Then the general's mate missiled an airport.
Yeah.
That America wasn't in, apparently. And then an innocent Ukrainian plane was flying by, and Iran accidentally blew it up.
Whoops.
That's the theory from America.
Yeah.
But apparently there's evidence to say that just there was a radar blip, much like the HMS Brilliant, where it just said, blip, oh, fire! Oh, wait, no, there's like 180 innocent people on that. Oh.
Yeah.
So HMS Brilliant, maybe the captain just like made his way up in the Iranian defense minister. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen that bleep before. It's a whale up there. Kill it. They shouldn't be flying. Yeah. Anyway, so that's World War III.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
Total nonsense.
Not really that bothered by it. The only thing was that it does. I've said before that I think all politics is kind of irrelevant, and prime ministers and presidents are kind of irrelevant. But it did feel a little bit weird to have him as like Donald Trump as like the diplomat in this whole thing. It was like, maybe he's not the man for that kind of gentle diplomatic talk.
Yeah.
We killed him to stop a war, not to start it. That's a bit weird to say. Openly admitting to guilt and claiming, much like ISIS, claiming the murder that you did.
I tried to go back and figure out where it started, and it just seems like the stuff between Iran and the US has been going on for years, and it's slowly just been escalating with different attacks and different underhanded tactics. And then so like this whole it killed the general, like that wasn't the first thing, but everyone's acting like it was.
It's kind of like Australia being on fire. It's been on fire for a while. And
right.
Like, I think I read January 3rd, someone said, oh, Australia's on fire. It's been on fire for a while.
Yeah, no, it's been over a month at least.
And just people just none. But admittedly, they do have fire seasons, apparently. Yeah. Where every year just they catch fire for a bit.
Most hot countries do.
They just catch fire.
Yeah, well, like people were talking about like California and stuff, like it was a big deal. And it's like, California fires were big.
Yeah.
Compared to previous ones, but the point is there were previous ones. They are a regular thing.
Yeah. But just no one really noticed while everyone was on fire for quite a while, and then suddenly some teenager saved 6 koalas, and now everyone's listening.
What a hero.
Yeah.
Am I focused, by the way?
Oh, I don't know.
I never even checked.
I don't even care.
Am I blue?
Yeah, you're blue.
A fair one.
There's another one for my face. Australia on fire, World War III. This teenager saved 6 koalas, and now people care. And
okay.
Yeah, and last week I said 500 million plants and animals died. And I laughed at how it's funny because who cares about the plants? I read now 500 million animals have died.
All right. Well, now we care.
Now we care. Now it's that's a lot of animals to die.
Yeah.
That's probably the bigger hate crimes.
Yeah.
But
I think even if they weren't catching fire, the animals would die without the plants, right?
Yes, you're kind of hoping for more.
Well,
over the course, so it's only 500 million now, but hopefully 5 billion in total.
If we look at slide 3.
yeah. You said something interesting last week, which I think is kind
of... Did
I? You did, but which makes sense. But when I was looking back on it, it kind of threw me a little bit. And I think it's the way that a lot of people think about it. Because I was talking about, I was so it's a very loud moped that I couldn't even hear it from here. But yeah, I was like, it's weird how the world isn't intervening in any way. Like, I didn't know at the time whether or not countries were helping this Australia that's on fire.
Yeah. And
you said, it's not wrong. You said, it'd be good. Like, the whole world should donate money to help them out.
Did I?
Yeah, as in, there should be some kind of fund. It would be good for people to donate with, in terms of countries. And it feels weird because maybe this is my simple brain. I just go why don't they send their planes and their firefighters and be like, are you on fire? No.
Well,
it's $5,000.
It's more of a UN kind of thing to donate people, and then the charitable thing is you send relief workers from the Red Cross because that's people you think of charity and you're like, it's kind of a small thing, but the Red Cross clean up after tsunamis, they're a big outfit. It's the kind of to
quite
send...
funny to be just send them into a fire though. Be like, you're charity, right? Yeah. We have food.
But I guess you'd send them to look after people in the shelters and stuff that, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the logistics of sending firefighters because if you're a town in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere and suddenly you've got no firefighters.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you got an army.
But I was going to start a fire tonight.
You got an army.
Yeah,
and the army has firefighters. It must do.
But they I think they have said we can, maybe there's measures we can put in place to stop it spreading too much, but there's really nothing we can do to put it out now.
Yeah, and I get that is probably the truth.
And I suggested throwing bodies on it.
yeah, just donate some people. Just,
if we were ants, I think is what I said. Yeah, we'd just jump on it until it was out.
Live like ants. Try to carry more than your own body weight.
Yeah,
from a picnic.
A bit too Stalinist for me.
Ants are Stalinist?
That's a communist thing, isn't it? The ideal communist society is ants because none of them have egos. They all work together and they're all worth exactly the same amount, and none of them care about that. But people don't work that way.
You remember Ant Z? There was soldier ants and worker ants.
Was it called Ant Z or was it called Ants?
Right. So when I was in year 3, I tried to make... This is a true story. I tried to make an actual position of an argument that it was actually called Ant Z. And everyone was like, I think it's ants. I was like, no, because I was an arrogant prick. And I was like, well, the lead character is called Z. It's Ant Z. And then I saw some girl's boobs and I forgot about it.
That's just life, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, apart from all the fire in the World War.
Yeah.
That's silly. How are you?
I'm good. I'll apologise off the bat for any coughing that goes on throughout.
Directly into my face before.
Directly into your face again. Yeah. Because I've just picked up a stupid chest infection, but I'll try and keep a lid on it. But apart from that, no, it's been good. The first week of January for some reason was a bit lethargic and I didn't get where I wanted to go. But this week has felt very productive from my business side of things. I feel like I'm sort of starting to gather momentum into the year again now, which is good. Which is where I want to be. How are you doing?
Fine. I'm great, mate. Me, you know me, always great.
I do. I think.
No, it's what day are we on? The 9th.
Yeah, 9th, Thursday.
We're recording this. Started off the year all right, pretty.
2020.
Get some stuff going. Started doing this. Then just started. I tried to rekindle my optimism.
Oh no.
And it kind of evolved into one of these.
Feel good stories.
Feel good stories. Are you ready to feel good?
Okay.
At the top of the
Sitting
bat.
back.
At the top of the bat. There's a lot of sexual nature that's going to be discussed in this.
Okay.
And it's going to be very graphic and horrific. So just as a
I
heads
assume
up.
it's more than just you, your dog, and your housemate involved.
Yeah. So yeah, there's sexual content in here with you. It's a flag. It's a right. Now, I've had to write this because there's so much.
Okay.
I am a romantic.
Right.
This has been established
Yeah.
concretely that within this room, I am the most romantic.
Okay.
Yep.
The least married.
Least married because I still believe and I haven't given up. I am also an optimist.
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah, an optimistic romantic, I'd say. When it comes to happiness, I think anyone can find their own happiness, but I don't necessarily think that everyone deserves happiness, or that some people's happiness will be a good thing.
Yeah.
Like someone's happiness might be abducting and murdering exotic giraffes, and I'd be like, they're happy, but I don't know whether that's good for society or not.
Yeah.
Okay, then fair enough. And I've been on the scene looking for someone special, for about a year, I reckon. I've probably been active and inactive. And on Friday of last week, I decided to re-enter the Tinder world, and immediately, which I took as a compliment at the time. Found someone who I started chatting to, and it wasn't really someone I was that interested in, but I felt like I had to do this internet dating-y thing kind of stuff in order to carry on through that. I've since changed my mind. Let's see if you can tell why.
Okay.
She was very forward.
Right.
And she basically said, she said, like, what are you looking for? And I was like, looking for somebody special, more romantic than Steve. And just
who's Steve?
Most romantic, most optimistic. What, you think Tinder is the right place for that? I said, well, there's nowhere else really. And it got down into basically a conversation about she wanted to hook up and have sex, and then we'll see how to get to know each other from there. Again, I think that's more kind of the modern day, casual person. But not everybody, obviously, and not necessarily myself, but wanted to specifically meet up and have sex. And she didn't want to have sex at her house because she's got a housemate. I couldn't accommodate in my house because I had a housemate. And so went through the very adult route of booking a motel.
Right.
Which I told her as I was doing it, I was like, this feels seedy, right? This feels... I know we're all adults and everything, but to get to know somebody by having sex with them when you meet in a motel seems very... Who was the mayor of...
I was going to say, that's what a mayor does with a prostitute, right?
It was very Mayor Quimby.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. But we were both like, hey, romance. So we'll go do that. So I booked a hotel, and I got there early because I had to check in, and we were going to go out for lunch and then chill out in the hotel room for a bit. Felt weird because I felt very much like a prostitute. I wasn't the mayor in this situation.
Yeah.
As in, like, I had to get there early, shower, sleep, because I was still like, I can't wake up at 1, roll out and do something. So I'll wake up early, get there, sort myself out and crash out and then do stuff.
Cool.
Shower was too small. Just a comment.
Well, that's hotel showers for you, isn't it? Like for me, for me, a lot of them tend to be a bit tight.
Like the shower head was on my chest.
Yeah,
it was just very strange. She had a request. She wanted me to shave the left side of my back. Don't know why.
Okay.
I don't really shave my back, and I don't really care. But I was like, I'm a romantic. Being optimistic.
What do you like me to shave it into?
Yeah, it was just like, so felt strange, felt very prostitute-like.
Heart, like a dog or something?
just a patch.
Okay.
Like a, I don't know, Polish flag on the side. I don't know. So like, fair enough, it could be the start of a wonderful romance. Who knows? So met up and had a drink with her. Some conversation. We got some food. We took her back to the hotel room. First thing she says, by the way, I've taken 4 Viagra. Which made me think, like, I pulled this face. You know that That doesn't do anything, right? No, it does. No, it doesn't. It's like, I used to think it was like a blood thinner, Viagra, that it would thin your blood, and that's what opens up your arteries and more blood flow. But I googled it afterwards to be sure, and it was just because if this woman had just said, "I've taken 4 blood thinners," the romance would have left the room. I would have been like, "You need to go to hospital. I don't want this murder on my record. You know, it's getting full." So it's like, I tried to explain to her, and it, just so you know, Viagra promotes a certain hormone that is in some way related to erections or arousal hormone, and it only works in men. Some women say they do have an effect, but the belief is that it's in your brain. Placebo. They think it's a placebo effect. Okay. So off the bat, she's already told me she's got a prescription for Viagra, and she takes it to meet up on one-night stands or potential relationship encounters.
I don't understand taking it and being like, here.
Yeah, like I've taken it. Why? Because it works. No, it doesn't. You don't know. So already intelligence is an issue. Yeah. As in, like, this is not... And I don't know whether she was trying to impress me. So, I've taken 4 Viagra. or what, it was meant to arouse me in some way.
Well, I've only taken 2.
It's just like, this is strange. But fair enough. You know, it's fine. We got undressed, started having sex. Now, to be fair, she mentioned she was a bit insecure about some stuff. But she had very bad eczema. Okay. Which I didn't know what that was, but it's basically like inflamed, red, hardened skin, maybe with blisters on it. Like it can patchy red.
It can just be scaly. It can be minor. It can be... Yeah. If it's minor, it can just look like dry skin.
Yeah, like a rash. Or dryness, something like that. But like, she had a lot of eczema, which I don't care about. Romantic. Beauty's on the inside. All that kind of stuff. But it was...
With the Viagra.
It was very aggressive.
Right.
That's what I say. It's a point that you can't get to a point of blisters. So there's a lot of blisters all over her back and stuff like that.
So you have to be careful.
Lots of stuff like that. Basically, yeah. I'm a gentleman. I'm a romantic. It's fine. It'll all be fine. Because of this, I should mention, she decided to go for the position of reverse cowgirl. Okay. Which is me lying on the bed and her facing away from me. Right. Doggy style, but lazy. Yeah. Yeah. Basically. I missed out a bit. We turned on the telly while we had a conversation before I found all the blisters, and The King and I was on. Are you a fan of The King and I?
No.
No, neither am I. Neither was she. Part of the story.
Just setting the mood.
Yeah. So we start having sex, and obviously she starts crying immediately. Just immediate. And I've had this before. A lot of people explore sex in different ways. I'm totally fine with it. It's not my bag. I'm not doing anything for me. But I understand that a lot of women who, pop 4 Viagra before meeting a stranger, and the stranger looks like me, they'll be like, I'm going to cry. So she's crying immediately while we're having sex. Just straight off. Also, crying and screaming, I should say. She's having a good time, but interspersed with unstoppable sobbing.
Jesus Christ.
So just like, I'm just lying on the bed, this is new. This is fair enough. Right. I think she wanted me to react in some way, the same way she wanted me to react to I've taken 4 Viagra. But if people try to manipulate me into reacting a certain way, my default is to not react at all. Yeah. So if anything, I looked more psychotic to just like blankly stare at this crying, screaming woman. Screaming intensifies, and she has her first orgasm. Right? Okay. Which in her case means pissing about 2 gallons of lady juice, which is just I tried to think of a polite way to say this, because there's not really. Some ladies squirt. Yeah, it's a posh way of saying it. Which is
if you just say it with an accent, then it sounds nice.
Which is perfectly normal. I've travelled. It's more than it maybe not be the average standard, but it's not an outlier case. It's like people do this. Some people pretend that it isn't piss, but I believe the scientific testing is it's piss. It's piss. Yeah. And again, I don't care. I'm a man of no shame. I'm a romantic. Cry, scream,
and it's not
piss.
your bed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. kind of makes sense in that she didn't want to do it at her place. Because all this work I've got to do.
Yeah.
But, she orgasms and pisses 2 gallons of piss. It's totally normal. I go into that. She was, she went on to perform that act. This feels like a weird word to say. But she orgasmed a few times.
Yeah.
So she pissed
How
quite
much
a
had she
lot.
had to drink?
Not a lot. Like, I had a hot chocolate before
Was
I
she
met her. That's how sweet and
considerably
innocent I am.
smaller after she'd finished?
No, and she continued to cry afterwards.
Does Viagra
Still
cause water
fluid.
retention?
Does it cause geysers? Hot springs? Don't know. But my point is, she's pissed a lot.
Right.
And cried a lot.
Okay.
Right, so the bed's quite soaking wet. And she, most aggressive squirter I've ever met, I've written here. Weird way to phrase it. But yeah, not to be put off, and I'm still optimistic, I'm still romantic, I just kind of carried on. But I was starting to get a little bit bored by this. And it's not my thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into this.
Understood.
So I started watching, more watching The King and I. She's screaming and crying. I'm like, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Piss. Now, this is where it gets unusual. I don't know whether this is
the start.
This is where it turned for me.
Okay.
I don't know the full effects of Viagra on women, but apparently, her back exploded with blood.
Oh.
And so just like little pop marks when you pop a spot.
Yeah.
And then blood and pus and stuff like that. There were larger blisters that burst.
Oh.
And I was this is new. Just very aggressively. And so just lots of blood was pouring down her back.
Wow.
Onto me, and blood on the walls.
Really?
Yeah. Not like excessive amounts, but like you could do that weird Dexter needle thing.
Oh.
And be like, where did this blood come from? And blood on me, obviously. So the weird thing was that seemed to really step up her enjoyment of the whole situation.
Okay.
Now, I imagine it could be something like just your heart's beating, right? Faster.
Yeah.
So there's more blood.
Yeah.
More blood pressure.
Increased circulation.
And then, areas, instead of sweat, she exploded with blood.
Because you flush, don't you? So I guess all the blood is pushed to the skin.
Yeah. And then just blood. And then, so she started screaming and crying, more. And then she had like a final euphoric moment where she orgasmed her hardest, and I think the term I wrote was shotgun pissed, as in just like BAM! But the problem was what we're going. We've gone with tears, sweat, piss, blood, and pus have all kind of like coagulated on, and just the shotgun has blasted it all over the room. Biblical, I've written here. Yeah. So that's single life. If you were missing it, no judgment at all. Again, each their own. I think it's just this more about my politeness. You know what I mean? There's a few there's more red flags here that I kind of optimistically, romantically put to one side.
Yeah.
She's addicted to Viagra. Mm-hmm. Maybe a red flag.
Yeah.
She's crying immediately. Not a bigger red flag, but still a flag.
Interested in someone who's only half gorilla.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the bottom of that one?
Well, the only thing I can think of is as I drove away, I felt different. Right? I felt lighter. And I'm starting to think, and I don't think this anymore, but I genuinely thought at the moment that maybe she was performing like a satanic exorcism. Like screaming, crying, pissing, and then blood angeling. Like some kind of satanic ritual. So maybe either she implanted evil within me somehow, or she took some of my soul away. So
have you weighed yourself since?
No. It's just gonna come up as just You don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Oh no. I've been banished to another plane.
I thought scales were limited to numbers. So.
Yeah. But yeah, we after that, we just kind of got dressed. I dried myself off a little bit. I'm not a shamed person. I'll just kind of go along with whatever. So I just kind of mopped up the wettest, bloodiest, pussiest bits. But there was still like blood all over me and stuff like that. And then we decided to check out. And there was you have to book a hotel for a night.
Yeah.
But we were only ever going to stay there for the day, really. So I was checking out early. He was like, was there anything wrong with the room? I said, no, there wasn't. Here's your key. I'll see you later. It's covered in blood, piss, and pus.
Oh my god.
And yeah, said our goodbyes, got in the car. Now the problem was when I got in the car, I remembered I've got stuff that I planned to do that day.
Okay.
Right? Because I knew it was only going to be a middle of the day meet. So I was like, I'm out and about. I'm closer to where we are now than where I'm at home. And there was a restaurant I wanted to try. It's quite a nice restaurant.
You didn't feel the need to go and shower.
I already checked out the room.
Okay.
I'm not going home then coming back up here. Doesn't make any sense. So and I thought it's funny, right?
Yeah,
Going
yeah.
into
That
a
wouldn't
fancy
make
restaurant
sense.
covered in blood. I mean, it's funny.
Someone else's blood.
Yes. But I knew because I was reeking of piss, pus, blood, and all that shit. If I was working there, I wouldn't let me go in and sit down covered in blood.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So I was like, "Hey guys, I'm a big fan of your restaurant. It's like it's a nice restaurant for the area. It's just like, I've been meaning to try. You've tried your brother restaurants and stuff like that. So I thought I'd try you out. Listen, I'm covered in blood, pus, and piss. Would you mind if I took it to the car? Because I am hungry. I've built up an appetite from being blown away with shock and strange oddities. To be like, I need to eat some food just to center myself. And they found it funny and decided to help me out. So I just sat in my car eating duck à l'orange with cabbage and a warm beetroot salad. Just like, it's good. And then went home and felt very different about my life. Yeah, felt very, I don't want to do that again. That was the first point I got to that point. I was like, I don't want to do this.
That does not feel good.
Normal person, please.
That is not. It's not a feel good story.
Well, it's dating, mate. This is what dating is now.
It's so fucking war.
World War III. Yeah, just I don't know what it is about I know what it is about the women that I attract, and there's also an element of I'm not judgmental in the slightest.
Yeah,
to a fault.
Apparently so.
If a bus is driving towards me at 90 miles an hour, I'm not going to judge that bus, but I really should get out of the way.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's just I took the day one back on Tinder. So that's what happened. I think it's just no. Can't do that anymore. But it's going to be a weird profile, I think. It's like, hi, just no more back exploding piss sex, please.
Yeah.
And the amateur dramatics within me, right? I've done different plays or play on different roles. But they're not. They're very much not the who I am.
No,
it's still I'm slowly being reinforced.
Even after that, still no interest in The King and I.
I did it as a distraction, but then when all the blood came down, my priorities changed.
I don't feel like a king.
I wish I didn't get to know you. Get to know all about you.
Well, I think if ever there was going to be a week where we lose subscribers, I think this is probably
beginning of 2020. So yeah, there's been similar stories like that with me in my love life.
Like,
but
some
that was the
people
most
have
graphic.
one of those.
Yeah.
Some people have one. Like,
but it's just it is just my politeness. I think that's all it is. It's just you've said before, I'm very patient with people.
Yeah.
I'm patient even when their back is exploding. Trying to help her out and that stuff like that. It's to be a bit more like, no. This is no. I have to be more mean to people, I guess. But yeah, it's just out of politeness. It's just where most people would definitely leave or would definitely question something or wouldn't take the risk upon doing something.
Yeah.
Like some people wouldn't even go to a hotel to meet somebody on a first date because they might get abducted, they might get stabbed.
Mm.
You know, I don't care about that. I'm too optimistic and too romantic. Oh, romance. Do you remember we met up for the first date in that motel? Wasn't it romantic? TV's got like one of those coin things you put.
Like the thing, and this isn't the most bizarre thing about that whole thing,
Right.
but when I'm thinking, when I'm trying desperately to put myself in that situation, like I can't imagine ever being able to maintain an erection during that situation.
Well, this is the curse of Nick. Is that I find funny attractive.
This is hilarious.
I've got a very dark sense of humour. Don't get me wrong. I didn't finish.
Yeah.
It was she finished multiple times and made the whole room into a crime scene. And I was like, I guess I should leave. But yeah, it wasn't.
So there's no evidence that you were there. So I suppose that's a good thing.
Maybe the panic. It's like there's panic in the bed sheets. Something. But yeah, just like it was the first thing. I went home and I did feel worse about my life. When I got home, I was like, I do feel like this is the first thing I've done. It isn't necessarily shameful, but it's like I don't want to do this anymore. I'm 31, I'm nearly 32.
Yeah,
this isn't. I don't want to carry this on. I've had enough, and I've said this before, but this is kind of. I don't think you could top this without murdering. Do you know what I mean? This is like as far legally, I think, that you could probably go with something this horrific, in my opinion, in my mind, anyway.
Yeah,
and
I'd rather not push that boundary anymore.
Exactly. And it's I could understand it if it was something that I was looking for, but I'm actively not looking for it.
No.
And that's where love finds you. That's what they say in You Got Mail or whatever stupid romantic comedy. Love finds you when you're not looking for it. Meanwhile, I'm just trapped in a travel lodge, getting blood, pus, and pissed on. Ah, is this love? So yeah, that was my weekend, and that stopped me from looking after myself as much. I was shaking in a corner. It's like, while I'm definitely going to smoke again. I have to get this out of my mind. But on the plus side, so that's now behind me. I don't want to do anything like that ever again. Although we'll see. But I did go to Comedy Club last week.
Oh, cool.
After the show, after we recorded, and it was good. It was strange. I've got some weird sign language.
Sorry.
Yeah, I went to a comedy club last week, and it was good. I am able to go there every week if I've got the schedule free. And I think last week I said they had some space for today, but they didn't. So I think they've got one in like 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm gonna go up and do some stuff. I wanted to go up last week, to be fair, but the way they
go and tell that story. First night. So same time next week. No.
Well, the thing about the comedy club, I don't know whether to name it or whatever, but it's a nice starter place, but it's a bit strange,
right?
In that it's on fire. Like they have, I don't know whether they don't have central heating. They didn't have lights, but they had like just a fire in the middle of the room.
Okay.
That the audience was regularly being attacked by. Just like sparks.
Oh, like an open.
Yeah, open fire. Just a fire.
Like a nice log fire, or like a.
I think
like a bin that's.
I think an electric fire with real logs on it, something like that, or like a normal fireplace.
Okay.
But it means the room was very hot, and people were every now and then screaming. Ah! And that the MC was saying, "Can you stop?" Because it was I don't know who he was, but I'm assuming he worked for the pub or whatever. Can you please stop putting logs on the fire? It's very hot, and the crackling is louder than the microphone. It's weird to be heckled by nature, you know. So it was like, but at first I was a bit like, "This is a strange place," but it kind of grew on me in a weird way. A bit like that's quite. It's got this weird little charm.
Yeah.
Of audiences on fire, urinals have been sledgehammered.
Oh,
it was weird. graffiti in places. And like, yeah, it's just a cheap and cheerful pub that someone's made into a comedy club. And they just get whoever wants stage and they're like, yeah, come up and go up on stage. So they overbook all the time and run over. But they're like, hey, if anyone wants to get up on stage, go for it. So went for that. It was good and had that weird little spark of like, yeah, I've got a story. I was going to tell the one-eyed dwarf story. And it's been like, oh, that could be a good story to 5 minutes to kind of talk about. I wanted to go on last week, but they were busy. And yeah, go up in a couple of weeks. So that'd be fun. So
That's good.
Good things came out of the week.
Yeah.
As well as this weird kind of pagan human sacrifice.
Well, you got a stage and you got more material. So, like...
Yay!
if you can find a way to make that story suitable for a family-friendly pub.
I don't think I'll ever be family. I don't think the podcast will ever be family-friendly.
No.
So it's got to be like, this is what we do.
It's not. But, like...
This is my life.
Yeah, there should be an extra tick box next to the thing on YouTube where it says, is this suitable for children? Yeah, it's just like just 2 ticks in the no box.
Yeah. Is this morally okay?
No.
I don't know.
Grey.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my week.
Yeah.
So, in other news, I didn't know this was illegal. Apparently it is. A motorist was stopped on the M6 by motorway police after being spotted eating a yogurt.
Yeah, apparently you're not allowed to.
Can't eat yogurt at 70 miles an hour.
I always eat while I'm driving.
Yeah, always. I've eaten roast dinners.
I've never done that.
It's great.
But like, I've eaten like sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, and they go on to say...
And how come you can eat but you can't? But how come you can't eat but you can smoke? If you can do it with one hand, like do it.
You can drink when you drive, like water and stuff. I think that's legal.
Yeah.
But they even went in to say he wasn't even using a spoon. Guy's got no decorum. You know, if he was using a spoon, that would be more insane.
Yeah.
He was drinking it as if it was a drink.
Okay. Well,
I would imagine that's how you eat a yogurt without a spoon.
Really have a problem with that?
I don't see what's wrong with that.
No.
But yeah, then there was more stuff. I mean, there was a guy watching telly while going down the M6 as well earlier in the week, which is more. You can't sat there watching a 50-inch fucking TV while you're.
No.
Beauty
You'd be surprised, man, how many times I've seen people watching stuff on like their phones or something mounted on the front. Like, I get it. I get it if it's like a podcast or something. But either way, like I've never watched anything while I'm driving. That's just like.
I watch stuff in my car when I'm parked up doing something.
No, that's different.
It wouldn't just. Yeah, that feels way too distracting.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But
like you're not allowed to it's distracting to have a phone conversation.
Yeah.
Let alone like watching a 4th episode of ER or something.
That's weird, isn't it? Because you can't have a phone up to your head and have a conversation.
But you can have a Bluetooth.
You can have hands free.
Yeah, which I still think is distracting.
What's the difference apart from having another hand on the wheel?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the whole thing: is you can't take your hand off the wheel.
Well, I think in some places they're considering making it illegal, full stop, to take phone calls while you're driving, which. I think a lot of people will have a problem with, but I don't really mind, like, because
But it just wouldn't work.
No, you couldn't enforce it.
An ambulance service needs to take calls while they're driving.
Taxis always take calls while they're driving.
The police need to take calls. And you can argue the passenger can take it, sure, but sometimes they're the only person in the vehicle.
Yeah.
They have to take it.
But, like, people have called me while I'm driving, and, like, even if I can answer, I usually don't. Just because it distracts me. I don't like it. I never really feel too confident about it.
I feel fine with it. I do it on the regular, but I've got like a Bluetooth loudspeaker thing. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be able to, put a hand up to my head and make a phone call. That would feel weird. But I knew people who would drive whilst working on a laptop.
Oh no.
Like typing on a laptop and driving.
Fucking hell.
Even if it's like in between traffic lights, as they're going up, okay, cool. And they go. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just simple-minded. But yogurt is simple. I'd be like, you can eat. Is it because it's dairy? Maybe it's like brand loyal. You can have a Pepsi, but not a Pepsi for Lou.
Are they classing as yogurt? Because like, what about Yakult?
Yeah.
It's kind of yogurty, but it's in a bottle.
Guess it's a yogurt. Yeah. Illegal. Can't do it. So don't eat yogurt when you're driving.
No probiotics whatsoever.
Yeah. In other news, Delta Airlines have filed, or the workers for them have filed a class action lawsuit against Land's End. And that's just like the northernmost part of the country, right?
Southernmost.
It's like, you
Yeah.
sued.
I don't even know if it's a real place. I think that's just what we call it.
Narnia. They're also, that was a stupid joke, but they're also a uniform and clothing manufacturer and retailer. So Delta Airlines, like stewardesses, airport workers, luggage handlers, that's the kind of group that's making this court case.
Yeah.
And they're saying that their uniforms are causing them to have a lot of side effects, such as respiratory illness. So like they're choking because of their clothes.
Okay.
Rashes, blisters, boils, hair loss, hives, sinus problems, headaches, fatigue, nosebleeds, and anxiety.
Are they made from asbestos? What the fuck is going on?
So my first thought was just like, I don't know, you've got a hat on and that hat causes hair loss because of friction. There's no hats included in this.
No.
It was like, oh, maybe they're too tight.
Yeah.
Something like that. But apparently it's...
My shorts are giving me anxiety.
Giving me nosebleeds. The uniforms include dresses, skirts, shirts, blouses, sweaters, jackets and pants. And the materials are described as high stretch, wrinkle and stain resistant, waterproof, anti-static and deodorizing. But apparently they're also filled with chemical additives and finishes to try and make like shiny or stuff like that. Yeah. And the chemicals in this uniform they've done to make it nice are fucking balding and bleeding these poor people to death.
Would you not know that?
Yeah, you think it'd be on the side effect of if you add this to your shirt, you'll start getting sinus problems.
Well, like chemicals are all like A/B tested on, like patch tested on people and animals and stuff before they're actually used for stuff. That's what animal testing is.
And it's not like...
I mean, you can't... I guess you can't test a pair of trousers on a rabbit. But like you can test the chemical
material and the chemicals, yeah. And it's not like I thought, maybe it's because they're so high in the air, different air pressure, different stresses. But this includes the baggage handlers on the ground,
right? So
it's not specifically to the stewards or the pilots or whatever. It's just like this company is fucking poisoning all their employees.
Jesus Christ!
So yeah, if you're in work for Delta Airlines, pray for a bring your own clothes to work day. Casual Friday, casual non-deodorizing, non-anxiety, non-boils Friday. You can wear your own clothes. When does this get... Oh, okay. The headline. A man who sexually abused a 10-year-old girl has been jailed for 7 years. That's why I was like, why is that funny?
Okay.
But he's blind. No, he's blind. Neil Nellies, bound to be a murderer.
Is there a defence that says, well, I didn't know she was 10 because I'm blind?
No, it's better than that. 42, who is registered blind, assaulted his young victim, who has since tried to take her own life and claims that he stole her childhood. Liverpool Crown Court heard. The crimes took place several years ago in Wilmslow, Cheshire. Nellies, now this is where it makes sense. That's all tragic, and it's all a tragic situation. But Nellies, who arrived at court with his guide dog Digby, was told prison rules meant that Digby would not be able to go to jail with him.
Good.
Yeah. Why was that a consideration?
Put the dog in prison? Goodness sake.
Why was that even a thought? If a blind person kills someone, the dog doesn't go to prison. Oh, well, he won't be able to see it. Well, fuck him. He's in prison. Come here, Digby. You've got 7 to life. You're about to live out the rest of your life. Fucking Broadmoor. No dogs in prison. Have dogs ever been in prison? I swear they haven't.
Probably not. But maybe a prison that's just for blind people. So it's it's all dogs beating each other up and shivving each other.
Whispering like to the other dogs to guide that guy towards the showers.
Yeah. Black market deals on kibble. Just seemed like a strange idea, and it was just like, I guess it has to be done, right? If you go to prison, the judge has to go, and you can't take your dog. But I need my dog. He's an extension of me. No,
he's not going to. I'm not going to send a dog to prison.
Extension of you while you were raping this kid.
Yeah. Just the dog.
Digby, like, did you rape the child?
The dog's just in court.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm happy to see you all.
Weird energy in the air.
That must suck for a dog. Because like,
rapes a kid and goes to prison. This sucks.
But you have no way of understanding. Like, you're just seeing these people take your owner away, and in your eyes, he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, if a dog had sex with a 10-year-old dog, that would be like senior.
Yeah,
the dog would be near death.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like senior abuse. Maybe dogs are fine with that. Who knows? But just the very thought that maybe the dog would come to prison with me. No. No. I don't know of any dog prisons.
No.
Oh, we've got kennels. Yeah, but it's different to prison. It's different to sharing a cell with a sexual abuser who feels wronged. Just seems strange.
Poor dog.
That was funny. In other news, a man and his 9-year-old daughter were gunned down in South Carolina by a fellow hunter who mistook them for deer. It's a deer! Bang, 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 bang.
2 people, like a man and his daughter.
Yeah.
Both shot.
Yeah. By their friends.
They got...
A group of 4 went out, and there's a technique in deer hunting called driving deer.
Where you dress like a deer.
Beg to be shot.
Yeah.
No, apparently, so you know how like when I've certainly seen it in TV, but if you're hunting birds, they have like dogs.
Yeah.
Like, run into the bushes.
They run into the
birds
bushes and
scatter.
yeah.
Now, apparently, you do a similar thing with deer with people, but you don't want to scare the deer because they'll run out and it's a harder shot.
Okay.
You want to seduce them into coming to you, so they'll approach you with curiosity. So this group of 4.
That's so weird.
2 of them went out to seduce some deers out of the woods.
And then their friends shot them.
That looks like a seduced deer. Bang!
Shot both of them.
Yeah, both of them. After both being mistaken for deer. The only thing they're saying in this one is that they weren't sure whether they were wearing bright orange vests.
Right.
Which apparently they wear because of problems like this.
Yeah, whenever I've seen hunts like that, people are always
Yeah.
dressed in like high visors and stuff.
Yeah, it's why like you can't go out in too big a group, like because you might mistake each other for a bright orange deer. So, I mean, there's communication issues there and everything, but just like it's a weird thing to try and seduce a deer out, and then how does I guess you seduce a deer by pretending to be a deer.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Like they'd make the noises, scratch the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that to try and elicit curiosity.
Yeah.
And their friends were like, "That's a deer!" Jesus Christ. So, yeah. I'm not against hunting.
No, not at all.
I'd be interested to do it. But it just seems like you should not do it with people who might think you're a deer.
Yeah, particularly with people who maybe naturally have sort of deer-like tendencies. A little bit skittish, tall ears.
Yeah. Munches from the ground every now and then.
Yeah.
Something like that. Another short, very quick news from the Stoke Sentinel. Police have identified a woman who can't remember who she is. Now, I just find that funny. I don't know why.
How do you know who I am?
It's just like someone's going, "You look like a Susan." I'm going to say Susan.
All right, then.
Agreed.
I'll go tell my friends.
You look like you've... Who are my friends? I don't know. Dave?
Dave? Right. Dave?
Some guy that doesn't know who he is comes along. Hi!
Yeah. Hi, Dave. I'm Susan.
Yeah, it's like a weird game of Guess Who. You got glasses on? I don't know. Do I? No. But obviously it's just, people had memory issues and they found them. Good on them.
Yeah.
Hope they did it as funnily as I thought. In other news, a man woke up... Apparently this was around Christmas.
All right.
But a man woke up to find a stranger sucking his toes. So he just woke up in his bed,
house.
In his house.
Oh.
And there's a man sucking his toes. When he asked him, "Why are you in my house?"
Is that the first thing he said?
Why are you in my house? The guy said, "I came here to suck toes."
He didn't lie.
The fuck do you think I came in here? Came in here to suck your toes, mate. What can you say to that? Nothing.
Like, yeah.
I guess.
Wish granted.
He then fought the assailant, who broke a window and smashed up his car windshield as he left. So they had a rough wrestle, get off me, that kind of thing.
Why did the guy not just leave? Like, how long was he planning on sucking this guy's toes?
Well, you've done what you came here to do.
Yeah.
Can you now leave?
Yeah.
No.
Level completed.
Emotions got high. So yeah, they fought. I can understand how I could break a window. They fought or something. Maybe like knocked each other into a window. Maybe he smashed the window to get out. Yeah. But I think the idea is when he got to the car, he's already outside the building. He's not nowhere near, and just out of pure sexual frustration, just smashed out the window. Toes, toes, toes! Why can't I get any toes? I mean, my blood started to seep out the back of his shit, looking for his kindred spirit. Whatever the fuck. And lastly, some audience participation. Carlos Gozan reportedly fled his Japanese home in a musical instrument case. So he was under house arrest in Japan, I think it was, for, I don't know, let's call it a bunch of crimes. And a band came round to perform, and when they left, he just got in their, I don't know, trombone case. Or, just a musical case, recorder, flute, I don't know. I'm guessing like a drum.
Just just can't quite fit. Be like a trombone.
Yeah. He's just making noises. I'm a flute. Weird flute. Oh,
flute looks like disconnected.
A bloke. The escape began when musicians arrived at his Tokyo residence under strict conditions, and he climbed into a musical case. They picked up their instruments, including Gosen, slipped into one of and was taken to a small local airport. I'm taking this drum to the airport.
Do you know? You know how heavy your instrument is, right?
Well, the assumption is the musicians were in on it.
Oh, okay.
Is that they must have assumed. They said special forces were involved as well. I mean, does it take special forces to climb in a box? Maybe passports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, if you're ever trying to escape house arrest, why not hire a band?
Yeah. I thought house arrest, you were like GPS tagged or something, aren't you?
Maybe the house is. Well, the house is still there.
We have like an ankle bracelet.
Yeah. We get one of the drummers, percussionists, just
until it falls off.
Yeah. That's the special forces.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me for this week. Oh, one more note. I've realised you.
All right.
Just to put it into... Because I've said before, this beginning of 2020, I felt a little bit more peacekeeping. Because I can't remember everything you've said, but you hoped babies didn't live to their first birthday because it would inconvenience you.
That's not what I said.
Something like that. And the other one was the Space Shuttle Constitution was renamed by popular demand and possibly at the will of the creators into the Enterprise, and you hated that.
Shouldn't have happened. It's a travesty.
And Jack D.
Okay.
That's all it is.
What?
There's a Jack D spirit in you.
Okay.
You watch a lot of Jack D.
Yeah.
Jack D's comedy is very much like, I built this. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that. You give me the Enterprise.
Yeah, okay.
You build a rocket, you call it whatever you want. My rocket, call it the Constitution. Go space. And babies, like, birthdays. I mean, the baby doesn't care. It feels very much Jack D. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm still trying to figure out whether to...
Definitely a big influence.
Yeah, and it's on me as well, but I think I'm a bigger influence on you, it would seem. I think I had an Eddie Izzard fascination from a young age. So I think maybe that bled into me a bit more surrealness. But yeah, it's trying to figure out, like, why do you hate kids' birthdays? And it's like it's because you're interpreting it from a specific.
Don't try and rationalise this.
Hey man, I've been actively trying to rationalise me. I'm
definitely don't try and rationalise that.
Yeah. Rationalising you might be a simpler task. I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, it's just the Jack D spirit.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. But once I realise, it's that kind of reaction. You're like, oh yeah, I totally understand now. But before I was like, why can't you understand these obviously nice premises?
That's fair. Well, you're the optimist.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference.
Yeah, and just like I think it's also the kind of the defensiveness that you spoke about. That whatever happens, I think you try to defend it. Like I can't remember, something happened today, and you like being defended. I was like, you don't have to defend everything. It's fine. It's all okay.
Yeah.
It was just something really small. I think it's just actively you're like, no, I'm
okay. I do get quite defensive.
Yeah,
I think that's. I've always noticed it and tried to tone it down, but I think at some point I was just like, this is kind of just who I am. I can apologise for it later as long as it doesn't piss too many people off.
Right. This is who I am, as in defending.
Being defensive about things. Yeah, I think generally socially I'm quite amicable about things.
Yeah,
but maybe in more of a private situation I can be more defensive.
Okay, so I had an idea after that biblical blood piss experience.
Right.
I've never really lent on anybody as a wingman before.
Okay.
Look where I've gotten to. That's resulted in me doing things like this.
Yeah.
So I think it would be funny, if you're up for it, for me to lean on you in more of a wingman style.
Yeah.
First example, maybe I'll tell you what time and you ring me while I'm on a date, claiming that why won't I buy all your eggs? Something like that. We have like a big argument about eggs.
Yeah, 100%.
If she reacts positively to me having a wealth of eggs, then like, if it says something about come up with some weird kind of system that tries to figure out whether they're a biblical satanic ritualist, or just someone who's confused why someone has trouble selling eggs.
I'm 100% open to that.
I think that'd be quite funny.
Yeah.
Maybe check in some of the red flags. Yeah, she's taken full Viagra. Yeah. All right. I agree. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm out. Listen, I'm out.
Yeah.
Just get more of a live intervention with it.
Definitely up for that.
I think we're quite funny.
Yeah.
If there's anyone in need of dating help, I guess. Not necessarily succeeding. just to throw out there a few. This feels like a red flag. Throw that in the air.
Yeah.
See what you think. I think it'd be quite funny. Turn it into a web series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me for this week.
Yeah. Maybe I could get a van for it. You know, like they always have vans in those films where like there's someone in the back with a headset on, like looking at a monitor and like assessing the situation.
Oh, there's blood on the GoPro again.
I don't want a GoPro in that room. I just...
This is weird. Steve, you still there? I'm still alive. Tell my kids I love them. You don't have any kids. Find some.
Yeah. All right. Let's get away from that mayhem.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
Just a quick one to start with. Not funny. I just kind of found it interesting. Apparently, Christmas trees have the same effect on lions as catnip does on cats.
They fucking love Christmas. The tiger who came down the chimney. You here for tea? No.
Yeah, if you're going to buy someone a lion for Christmas, don't wrap it and put it under the tree.
Yeah. Just a drug,
no more
isn't
Christmas.
It? Catnip.
It has a sort of a similar, it's almost like psychoactive, I think. But the interesting thing about cats on catnip is that they have enough of it. Like they'll do it for a bit and then they'll voluntarily be like, that's enough. And you can try and give it to them again and they'll be like, no.
Kind of like coffee. I've had enough today.
Yeah, like they police themselves on it. It's quite interesting. But as far as like the lions and the Christmas trees, I don't know. It was a thing from a zoo where they at Christmas, after Christmas, they throw a load of Christmas trees into the lion's pen. They all go fucking mental.
But you do it so that cats shit on it, right? Is that catnip?
No.
Is that another box of stuff?
That's like
cat litter.
That's cat litter.
And it entices them to shit on it.
No, they just
get used to it.
You train them to shit in it.
Is catnip like a food then?
Catnip's it's a plant. I don't know the species of plant, but it's a plant. and they essentially just chew it and then play with it and stuff, and they go all fucking wide-eyed and just a bit mental, and get all fucking drooly, like yeah. Strange thing.
Lions love Christmas.
Lions, it's Christmas trees. Yeah. Okay. Joan Murray is a banking executive, which is unfortunate. To make up for the dullness that filled the majority of her waking life, she decided to take up skydiving. My life is so incredibly boring, and working for the Bank of America is akin to being a war criminal, Joan thought, probably. So maybe skydiving would give me something worth living for. The first few jumps... Sorry, I'm just not big on bankers. The first few jumps were fairly uneventful, unfortunately, but as luck would have it, on her third jump, her parachute wouldn't open, and she plummeted 14,500 feet to the ground below. Luckily for Joan, the enormous mound of fire ants that she landed on...
Stalin-esque fire ants.
stung her so much that the massive adrenaline spike kept her heart beating. With the right side of her body shattered and all of her fillings knocked out of her teeth, which I thought was an interesting, like, just boom, like all the fillings. All the fillings knocked out of her teeth. All it took to save Joan in the end was 20 reconstructive surgeries and 17 blood transfusions. Despite all this, Joan refused early retirement and went back to working at the bank.
Oh, no.
Better luck next time, Joan.
I guess this is a sign. Go back to work.
Yeah, she refused. Like they offered her like disability something, and said she could take early retirement. I couldn't actually find out. Like, I thought it would be interesting if she could like walk again afterwards. Like if she was mobile. Like I understand. Like maybe there's like some kind of like pain and whatever like constant after that. But if she was mobile, like. How fucked up would you be if you were like someone that had like fallen off a park bench on one of those weird freak accident things and ended up paralyzed, and you're like, this bitch fell from 14,500 feet and got bitten by millions of ants, and she's fine. She's just walking around, working at the bank.
I got told, and I believed it. I guess it makes sense in my head, but if the human body goes from, I think it's something as low as 30 miles an hour to 0, you die. Because your organs get traumatized so much by the G-force.
I can believe that.
She must have been travelling faster than 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, so they said...
So obviously it was probably soft ground, so it wasn't like immediate... It wasn't like concrete.
A mound. It was a big mound of earth. And I guess ant mounds are loose because they're just full of tunnels and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So she fell 14,500 feet. They said at 700 feet, she managed to get her auxiliary parachute open, but they said it very quickly deflated. So it was slowed and by the time she hit the ground, she was falling at 80 miles an hour.
See, they must die.
Right?
But the only thing I'm thinking is, like, because in a car, they say, like, this is hitting the steering wheel, and that's pretty, stiff.
Yeah.
That you will just die. That's why the speed limit's 30 miles an hour, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But 80 miles to 0... Your G-force, you would die.
Yeah, well, it's the thing. Yeah, they said like they crushed the whole right side of her, and I think they came up with a fire ants theory because they couldn't figure out why she didn't die, and their thing was like, well, she's been
probably fire ants.
She's been bitten thousands of times by these fire ants that she's landed on. Maybe an adrenaline spike from that made her heart keep beating. She went into a coma for like 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah. But yeah, I would just assume that all your organs would just be screwed.
Yeah, just mush.
Yeah, not necessarily like your bones, just like organs just fucked. Makes sense to me, but it's always an outlier. Maybe that fire ants are the medicine
Joan the
of the
outlier.
future.
Outlier decided to work at a bank. What a waste.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Mozart had such a contempt for his father that he refused to attend the funeral. He certainly wasn't adverse to lavish acts of mourning, however, as a week later, when Mozart's pet starling passed away, he hosted a huge funeral with mourners dressed in veils, marching in procession, singing hymns and reciting poems. He even dug a little grave for it.
That's a baller move, isn't it? Just to show how much you don't give a fuck about your relationship. Oh no, Dad's dead. I'm busy that day. Oh no, Pete the parakeet's dead. The whole town.
Yeah.
Come in. Everyone must.
I will front the parade. Everyone dressed in black. We're all very sad.
Much sadder than a week ago.
That my bird is dead.
Yeah, it's a baller move.
Yeah.
Was Mozart the deaf one? I don't think so.
It's Beethoven,
deaf,
wasn't it?
he?
Yeah. So apparently, like Mozart, I only read a little bit about it. Mozart, his dad kind of pushed him into music at a young age, which makes sense.
Mozart was like, and I didn't get anywhere. Fuck.
But when his mother died, I'm not entirely sure how she died. His dad blamed Mozart for it,
by a bird.
And that's where their relationship fell apart, or something.
Birded to death.
Yeah.
Mozart set his
Mozart's mother, the starling. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a baller move. Try and pronounce this guy's name correctly. Niels Hogel, former nurse in Germany, turned out to be one of the most prolific serial killers in the country's history, but only sort of on purpose. He stated that the reason he killed so many people was because he wanted to be seen as heroic when he brought them back to life with his resuscitation skills. Unfortunately for Niels, he was an amazing killer, but a crap nurse, and nearly all of them died.
Don't worry, I'll bring him back to life. I'll just...
Yeah. 300 people.
There's this weird, creepy, murdering nurse doctor thing, isn't there? Always.
Yeah. There's a bunch of those that's happened to, and I don't know exactly how he was trying to kill them, but it's like
probably something to do with stopping your heart.
Well, yeah, but you'd think, well, I've tried it a few times and they've all died. Like
I've tried it 200 times.
Yeah.
No, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, still hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
But,
well, this is totally not really related, but I had a family member die because the anaesthetic that he was given during a routine procedure was toxic.
Oh, really?
It's just like medical accident.
Well, he was allergic to it, or they gave him too much, or
the anaesthetic was poisoned.
Oh, right.
As in, not maybe allegedly poisoned, but it killed everyone that used it.
Like eating off food.
Maybe, or it was just bottled incorrectly, or something was in it with it. And went in for he was an elderly gentleman, but still, and just went in for a routine surgery, and I think everybody who used that anaesthetic died.
Jesus Christ!
And you go like, mistakes do happen,
and
that sucks. But you go like, it's pretty. Obviously, I believe that was an accident, but it's easy enough for people to dismiss things as medical accidents, I guess.
Yeah.
People get into professions for weird reasons. Like, some people get into medicine to help people. Some people get in there to control people.
Yeah. Some to kill people.
Yeah. Practice.
Hundreds of people.
What do they call it? CPR.
Yeah. They said he's the most prolific serial killer in Germany during peacetime. Which I thought was a good note. It's like, all right, so it wasn't quite as bad as the Holocaust then.
Yeah, the 100 Years' War. There was a 100-year-old serial killer in there, so you can't.
Yeah.
Was that Germany? I think it was. Somewhere in Europe.
I don't know history. I'm not too great. And finally, the island of Sark in the Channel Islands is a quiet, peaceful place. At only 2.1 square miles in size and with a population of about 500 people, it's one of the few places left in the world where cars are banned, with its roads being reserved purely for tractors and horse-drawn vehicles. In 2011, Sark was designated a dark sky community, so for all you stargazers out there, maybe add Stark to your bucket list. The Isle of Stark is in fact so quiet and so peaceful that in 1990, French nuclear physicist André Gardez assumed that he could take the island by force single-handedly. Gardez arrived on the island at night armed with one semi-automatic rifle and 2 posters stating his intention to claim the island the following day at noon. Bright and early the next morning, Gardez donned his battle attire and marched across the island to the governmental manor, where he proceeded to wait on a park bench for noon to arrive. While waiting patiently, kicking his heels, Gardes was approached by the local constable who took great interest in his rifle and asked to inspect it. And upon handing it over, Gardes was immediately tackled to the ground and imprisoned.
So close.
Yeah. Still, a year later, he tried again. This time, he didn't even reach the island.
I'm back.
I'm pretty sure I could take that.
Not even like how polite. It's just a little. I'll leave them a voicemail.
Yeah.
Put a poster around
Put
saying
some posters up.
about noon.
About noon tomorrow.
I'm going to conquer the
I'm
island.
going to conquer.
They just, the fuck's this? They look over and there's a guy sat on a bench just looking at his fucking rifle.
Just like dressed in full battle garb. The island has one constable.
You can't defeat that constable.
Yeah.
Guardian of the island.
And he was just like, "Can I have a look at your gun?" He was like, "Yeah."
Of course you can.
It's not noon yet.
Yeah, haven't done anything wrong just yet.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Probably take over an island.
Yeah, and then to try again. He was only in prison for a week, but I guess he hadn't done anything technically.
Just threatened to conquer an island. I guess loads of people do that.
Yeah, I think they just thought he was mad.
Let him sleep it off. He's back.
Yeah.
I blame your sock for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I might have to get a new one of these.
Oh.
This keeps on dropping. There's nothing I can do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me this week.
Yeah, it's a good, busy week.
Yeah.
Stress. Slowly getting back to normal.
You showered?
Yeah.
Good.
Busy week. Yeah, just I've said before, like it gets very busy in December, and it's really flowed over into January.
Yeah.
But my thinking is by next week, I should be back to normal,
Yeah.
which is very promising.
2020.
Yeah, it's just paperwork and
Yeah.
phone calls and shit, and then appointments. Just like this is just a drain.
Mm.
And on top of like work's getting busier and more stuff to do podcast wise.
Yeah.
Ideas and shit. It's just like need to finish this marathon. But yeah, 1 week, everything else just trying to quieten down. That should be good. But yeah, so that's this week. Productive week-ish, nightmarish, biblical, romantic, optimistic week.
God. Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever had to feel like I had to throw up a disclaimer. And it's purely because of squirting and reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, I think throw up was the optimum word in that sentence.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it would have been rude to say something at the time. He's kind of, all right.
I think a lot of people, I imagine myself, would have stopped.
So I'm just
and maybe left.
I've said the term well-travelled, but I don't. It's not necessarily that. It's just I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll answer the door in my underwear. I don't care.
I'll answer in my pajamas.
I'll wear my nighttime clothes.
Yes.
That's as bad as I'll go.
Well, I'm not often walking around in my underwear.
Yeah, I'll just answer in my boxes and be like, "Hi, you've knocked on my door." The fire service knocked on my door yesterday.
They heard the news.
Yeah, no, just like we're just fitting fire alarms, and I was in my underwear. Like I think it was like 9 a.m. I was like, "No,
Oh right,
I'm fine."
Oh.
Bye.
You've got fire alarms. Got enough? Not one another?
No,
No.
all right. I have to turn them off whenever we cook something, so
Yeah.
need to get someone around to fix that. Really.
Well, they came and went.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's us. I am at Nick Sniff.
I am at SingItSteve.
We're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, you can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com.
Nicely done. I was starting to get annoyed with the structure in which we were doing this. We're also on the Facebook group. No, it's got used to. Whenever I'm doing the editing, I'm just looking at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com and just waiting for someone to say it so I can finish it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I'll explain it later. Yeah, we've got the Facebook group, Facebook/Pulling Teeth Podcast. We've got the website, pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Want to get in contact, share any stories.
Yeah, send us
Interact.
your bloody piss stories. We'll be I'm itching to read those out.
I saw someone post in a podcast forum looking for guests. Have you got any embarrassing stories you'd like to share? It's like, I always think it'd be weird for me going on someone else's podcast. But to be like,
They do have no idea who you are. They suddenly realise very quickly who you are.
I'd be like, oh, come on, but only if I can record it as well. Is that okay? Just hear this guy's reactions. Again, nothing wrong with it. Not judgmental. It's just It's just I get into these situations because I'm too polite. I need to stop being polite.
Yeah.
That's basically what
That's
it
the
is.
problem. That's
But with my outlook on life, you're going to end up in the worst places in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you just end up... There's just a dark alleyway of metaphorical questions that happen. And I don't care. I'm more interested in where's this going to go? I've taken 4 Viagra. Why? I'm more interested in why than I am in, oh God, no.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why have you done that? Was 1 not enough? 4's your perfect number for placebo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes me bleed from my back. Okay.
Okay.
Does that help things for you? I'm more interested. I'm interested. Maybe this is the start of a beautiful love relationship.
I don't think I can hear that story again.
No.
I don't think I can unhear it.
Yeah. Well, was my Saturday. That's what led me to just like, yeah. I think I'm going to take a break from trying to fix myself and try and heal first. Heal my mental trauma. Just be like, I had to go lie down. That's the first time. I got home and I was talking to some friends about it, and I was just like, telling about everything that happened, and I was just like, I'm gonna go to bed. Just close the curtains. Just lie down for a while. Don't know whether that's not my limit because I didn't stop, so maybe it's best not to know your limits.
Yeah.
But yeah, look for a nice person. It's a nice grown adult woman with a good sense of humour. Doesn't need to bleed from the back.
Okay.
Doesn't have a Viagra addiction.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take the headphones off.